See, I'm a self-employed mindset. I was until my mother had a stroke, had to come through the system, had to have case managers borrowing money from her, all kind of nonsense. So until I stepped in and looked at what was going on, I didn't know how bad it was. So now I'm saying, wait a minute. I come from something different. And guys, I want to be real just so y'all know, because I've been here long enough without any taping. My folks tape to help me reach a larger audience. It's like you heard me say, it's over 300,000 that's not voted. So I'm not new to this, I'm true to it. Because I come from it, and I go in those meetings and I hear them talk about who they think we are. When they start using words like menace to talk about our young brothers, they don't understand. They don't go back to the household to see what's going on. My parents got to send their children to school in wrinkled clothes and maybe not smelling so nice because the water not working again. In the thick of winter. Got catching 10 and 12 rodents inside your household? Man, we came up better than that. And we're not showing up. But I know you're talking about it.
So I can tell you. Right, the whole government waiting out there with her now. 10, 15 thorough soldiers sitting in the conversation. Just like how when they see the nation of Islam, brother, they go different when they see some thorough brothers. Right. By majority, I'm saying there's a bunch of squares and women and this. They carry some different with some men standing in there. You can't get that difference.
So I'm just saying, I just came out Friday evening and come and see what these politics are jumping off in here about. What y'all talking about? I mean, really, what we doing? I'm going to lean on you because I know you can take it. You're not living at the poverty level. You're seeing the same nonsense I'm seeing. Tell me what we doing. Because, see, when I go in there, I'm sending out here for you. I want a task force on small business because I don't want us to get this disconnected again. Right. Small businesses are employing almost half of our workforce. So why would we stay with what's working? Because we got a pay-for-play system? Because we steering contracts towards people that's paying money to us under the table? So now these white boys just showed up and said we don't know how to govern ourselves? So they gonna gangster and take it away from us. You know why? Because what did Barry tell us all these years? We sitting on waterfront property. I come from real estate. We run around talk about gentrification. Yeah, it's going to come for us. We the nation's capital sitting on waterfront property. Yeah, they want it. But that don't mean we give it to them. We want growth too. We want our children in schools and advancing the skill sets and coming out with if they can't go to college, have a skill, an apprenticeship, something so that they can advance. What does the word legacy mean to us anymore? Do we even look at things like that anymore? See, when I was coming along, it was nothing for my grandmother, the big mama of the block, to bring 3 or 4 of the kids in to eat with us. And you know what we did all spoiled. What they here for, Granny? She had to remind me, if I don't shut up, I'll send over to Cambodia and get 2 more to replace you. Because you don't have to be here. See, that's just real talk. When did we stop looking out for the community? I guess when the guns start flying? I guess when the mamas start getting off track and able to manage?
I mean, it's hard to actually talk to people, kids nowadays.
Right.
I mean, when you come in here, I'm in here more than I'm at home. So technically, this is my second home. So I can't go in your house and put my feet up on your furniture. I can't walk in your house and go right to the refrigerator, none of that type of stuff. I mean, it's just the respect aspect is completely gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel
you can't speak to tell, you know, that's why I talk to who's in my chair at that present time. And if that one soul happens to hear it, then so be it. But I just, you know.
Well, my job is to build a relationship, because one of the things I know, sis, and that's real talk, respect is earned as far as I'm concerned. And if we don't have trust, we ain't talking about nothing. And it don't necessarily happen on the first visit or the first conversation. But what I do know is that as a real estate agent and broker, we were counselors. You're a mini counselor. Because a lot of them their problems don't stop because they came to get their hair cut. You know, and based on if they trust you or will open up to you, you end up having a conversation. And sometimes it's a conversation people need. All I'm saying is kind of We got these politics at our front door. I know my professor are out here. I know y'all out here talking about it. But what are we going to be about it so that it advances to the next level? Everybody got a role to play. I came out here to take it on the chin. Ain't nobody tougher than the town I grew up in. I already know. But if I got to come out here to talk to you all to find out what we're going to do together to do something different, then I'm coming out here. And I want to know what you're thinking about. I asked my mamas about the housing hearings, and they don't know what I'm talking about. We never make it past the complaint. So we have no representation in Congress. Did you know we paid 4 people to be down there? We got 3 shadow senators, and we got Eleanor Norton. You know what we paid them for? For us to get statehood. You think they well paid? We ain't got no statehood, so what are they doing? Who's supposed to hold them accountable? We are. But we ain't showing up. And then when somebody like me show up and say, hey, no, she corny. Yeah, I'll be corny if that's what it takes to save some kids and save some lives.
Right.
I'm about mine. So I just, I don't care how many times we gotta have this conversation, but on April 29th, we try to take the crowd down there. They're willing to receive us. They need to hear from us. The world needs to know that DC ain't gonna roll over and die. In prisons all over this city, in schoolyards all over this city, they know who DC is. And I was 18 in Germany. Had a cab driver asking me, is it true we grow tails at midnight? It's everywhere, guys. And what I told him, you know what, you're going to have to pick me back up at midnight so we can both see. Since we're being stupid, what was that supposed to hurt my feelings? You know how much shit we got to come through and survive to know? But they don't know who we are because we go within. We go within when shit start bothering us. Excuse my French. But we gotta vote. I don't care what y'all. My thing is we can talk about everything, but when we finish, we gotta agree. We gotta vote.
Right.
People got hung. What about the first little girls that had to go and be the test cases when they were trying to put us back integrating in schools and all this segregation and civil rights? Somebody had to be the first. Well, I'm the first African-American franchise broker under the Coldwell Banker brand in Prince George's County. So I happen to believe that this economical divide that we have not addressed in the city is time to be addressed. I don't know why he called me to do this. I was enjoying with my kids and my social workers and trying to do something for my mother's and my father's legacy. My father was a military man. I lost him to his, what we call heroin. Now everything opioid and fentanyl, but he was straight heroin. He came back from the military. He didn't get the PTSD diagnosis. He was just a soldier. Came back to the block trying to raise his child, and he got caught up. I lost him at 51. Do you know, I wish that I had known what I know now, that I could go and have this kind of conversation to him. I'm a daddy's girl. I wish he was right here walking with me, but he's not. But I'm supposed to act like it's not in me. I'm walking in them households. I got the baby holding on to my leg. We at his house. I'm bringing him home. But he ain't leaving my leg because he'd rather go wherever I'm going than stay there. And I'm looking at baby in her eyes. I know it's hurting her. Something going on real. But everything ain't for everybody because everybody don't understand that people going through. We unhealthy and they're not investing in us because they want us to go away. Because they got another plan. And then they get excited about RFK. Remember the old days of RFK, standing in the wooden stadium, standing up, stomping, and feel like the thing gonna fall apart. But was no greater feeling. And they had the audacity not to give Doug Williams a yellow jacket. I'm just saying, we got memories, we got legacies in this town, and just like my big mama's no longer here, the baton has been passed. The baton been passed to you all too. And we got to figure out what that looks like. I know you know the problem. I know you know what it looks like. But what we going to do about it? Because if we stand out of the politics and we're not showing up, then one thing we can be sure about ain't nothing going to change. See, I'm a force, what they say, I'm a beast by myself, but I'm a force when we together. As I tell people all the time, I can start a fight. I know how to start a good fight, but I got to look to my left and right and know that you guys are walking with me. And I don't know anything more more motivating than them talking about they taking our city. So when I go into these meetings, one I was in last night, Juanita Briscoe and Jamal guys, I'm sorry, and other parts of my team. We had a meeting last night and we strategizing about, hey, what are we doing? How we gonna, get folks together? And the non-black person at the table says, yeah, but we've got to figure out one thing that we can put in front of them that we can get motivated about. I said, brother, if there's no more motivation about saving our city, then what are we talking about? I said, he don't know the culture of DC. If we don't show up to be the drivers of where we're going, they're going to put us in the passenger seat forever. And I just hate the idea of that happening on my watch. Come on, so.
What can you do and what can we do to change the perception? Because a lot of people had a perception that they vote don't count.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
What we can do is we can first. When I tell people that number, when I tell them that over 300,000 not voting, that reality alone wakes people up because the visualization of that. See, when you decide that you don't want to vote, in your mind it's just your one vote. And you like, it ain't, they gonna do what they want to do anyway, right? But when you think about it's 300,000 of you that felt the same way, first that should empower you to believe that you know what you're talking about. You see what you see, it ain't working. If it ain't working for you and that many others, you know what I say to them, it's supposed to be a Democrat city, right? That's what they say. See, I followed in Democrat because my family and the one before me was. But when I learned and I watched Obama knock on doors in Richmond, I'm going to answer your question. Knocked on doors in Richmond when we were trying to get them in there. And I felt good about that, right? It was a good feeling. We're going to get something done now, right? And then he goes on 60 Minutes. I'm a small business owner at the time. Fighting to keep the business open, real estate. He gets on 60 Minutes and says he's sorry. He want to apologize to us because he meant to get it done. But when he thought if he gave them what they wanted on the other side of the aisle, they was going to reach over and help him. So I said, you know what? I'm not playing these games with them anymore. They don't automatically get my vote because they're Democratic or automatically. I want to deal with the principle of the matter. And truth be told, as all of my colleagues understand, blue or red hadn't done nothing to change our community. So they kept coming to me, asking me. I said, look, when they put that camera in your face, you let them know that this don't matter if they can't take care of where you live at. We have a voice. We're not using it. It's not enough just to get emotional and pull yourself out of it. That should be what you use to propel yourself forward. And then align with other people. I came out here. I'm hoping we can continue this. Because you can't keep walking around talking about you don't have a way to do anything when I'm right here running. What do I need to understand? What can you represent? Help me put a task force together because my eyes can't be everywhere. When the little boy and little girl show up in your seat and you know it's a problem, don't keep it to yourself. I'm out here.
Like you say,
Go ahead, Brian.
majority of people believe just what you said. Our vote don't count. I even told her before, run this test. You walk in the barber shop. I used to ask the men. Somebody telling you they want to run. And they're going, big thing they're going to do for the men, child support reform. They're going to fix and clean up child support. If they said they was running for that, I bet half y'all in here ready to make sure. What's her name? Let me make sure we got that. She can fix the child support. See, they're ready to go. Same thing with the president right now. Obama came out, slick ass joke, and he talked crap to black men. Right after he talked that nonsense to black men, they just did the talk. And they looked and seen how the vote comes up. Black men came out like that, and they ready to vote. Made a big difference. So it's just like if she, the mayor, were to come on TV or something right now, or you hear in the background, these black ignorant people in D.C. don't understand we hate Go-Go. Half this city gonna be opposed.
Yeah,
If you hear that,
just for that.
because remember, she came to D.C. saying she didn't like Go-Go, screw Mambo sauce, but all of a sudden now she's supporting Go-Go, she support all the people, put money in it,
Because
and
that's
now
the
they cool with
workaround.
it.
Because she
But
saw
if you
where
actually
we
really
go.
think about the D.C. people, you know we built a cold support over. You know about it.
You right. Brother got a question.
I actually got like a response to like the voting piece. Like a lot of this voting be misinformation from
Yeah.
people that pass along to others.
Yeah.
Like if our votes didn't matter, they wouldn't be having like voter restrictions.
That's right. They wouldn't work so hard to keep
that
us
would tell
away.
you that our vote matter, but we keep spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
So then my question for those people who say that we won't vote, I'll say what we gonna do.
Yeah.
Malcolm X said it's either the ballot or the bullet.
That's right.
So when I say we can go vote, or we gonna bear
Take
arms,
the arms,
then,
right.
then they get quiet.
Right.
So vote, they silent on the ballot,
Right.
and they silent on the bullet. So
Yeah.
we gotta pick a stand.
Yeah, you know what I saw, and that's a good point, and I thank you for making it. You know what I saw something to say, why black people taking the couch right now? So they basically looking for us, and we ain't showing up, and they saying, why we taking the couch, right? And that's an important question. Do we feel inferior? Do we feel? Are we still holding on to the reality that no matter what we do, nothing will change? I'm going to tell you what my challenge is. We got over about, 60, 70 polls? And I got to be able to affect enough people because we got to cover every poll. Because if you think those jokers won't go in and steal the ballots or do all that crooked stuff that we've been hearing about, that's how they've been keeping it their way. Because we're not there. And see, for me, I'm corny enough to believe that I can put them all together. Because I come from the city. I'm a native. I don't walk in a room and let them say anything about my city without earning the right. Because that's how I was raised. You don't just earn the right because you lived here 7 years. You don't know who we are. You got a hidden agenda. You think you know us. You befriend us. And what we do, many of us give them passes to come into our community to have the right to think that they can make decisions for us. If we don't stay in the driver's seat, we become a passenger. And let me say this, again, with all this migration in this town, this is bigger than black and white. Our children are supposed to have opportunity to speak in different languages. Many of them ain't gonna get to El Salvador, but they in class with a youngin' that's from El Salvador that can help them understand culture. See, when we die, our children got to be here. They got to be able to go further than what's at the corner store. And we do that because somebody did it for us. Hey, Soldier.
Yeah, you know, what are the two main things you plan on delivering to the black citizens of DC economically?
I like that. The two main things is that I know that $17.50 an hour is not going to produce a homeowner. What I do also know is that we're not educated about pre-tax dollars, financial tools. What I also know is that the small business owners get credits when they set up deferred payment accounts that helps people save money. So I want people to really understand how they can become a homeowner in that bracket and make sure we're properly supplemented. When I have the owners come to the table with $600 million net, $500 million for the team, another $87 million in tax breaks, $600 million, and you didn't get no guaranteed scholarships from them? You didn't get no guaranteed internships from them? We got social problems that these folks in our town with money have that we're not leveraging ourselves appropriately for. And you're not going to if your agenda is not to worry about that. See, I happen to think that the single most thing that is an emergency for us behind losing our city is the 81 times wealth gap. And we got to do something about it. Because if people going out to work every day and not getting ahead and they living in housing that they can't do anything different about, that's creating this unhealthy mental diminishment that we're dealing with. That's keeping people on their vices a little more than they like to. We used to function without weed here and our, dippers here, what have you, but now the depression sends us to it more. Now we can't get our lives together. So $17.50 an hour is not creating homeowners. And I want to change that because I know I can. Because all of us are not going to get the education or understand about insurance because we don't sit at the table and talk about insurance. We think insurance represents preparing to die. When white men and every other culture know that they use insurance to build their business. We have to be able to make those opportunities available. That's number one. $17.50 an hour is not. Number two, I don't like investing in this charter public school model, and you can't show me the impact of making sure our children are getting further. We have to set our children up to win, and we're not doing that. We're graduating them with half education, getting in line for $17.50 an hour will never change our economic position.
Well, that's all the no child left behind.
$17.50 an hour?
That's what that started. The No Child Left Behind.
No, I'm saying everybody, the standard should be higher. The standard should be higher. If you got 1,000 going, then I want 70% of them going somewhere when they come out. I don't want you graduating to the block, and we end up in fast food, and we can't get them past that cycle, and then we lose them to the block.
You know who started?
The standards have to be
You know who
higher.
started? What type of programs you gonna start?
In terms of, I happen to believe that we have a lot of good programs on the book, but we don't have enforcement or oversight. So that's why I said I want to audit. If it's working, I don't want to change it. I just want oversight so that you know what your standards are. I want a return on the investment. If I'm investing in you to save our youth, then I need you to come back and help me understand what you did to do that. See, I don't think our standards are high enough. I don't necessarily believe we need new programs, but if we do, I want to hear about it. I want to go clean up what we've been spending $21 billion on that has not given us a return on our money. As the mayor? Absolutely. Absolutely. As the mayor? Absolutely.
So in other words, you sold it. You're not sharing everything.
You ever, let me ask you this. You ever heard of the Federal City of Council? Have you ever heard of the Federal City of Council? You know who's the chairperson who's running it? Our old mayor, Anthony Williams.
See, I'm originally from New York.
No, it's okay.
But
the point I'm making is that there are systems in this town that are in place, and if you fall into the clique, then you just keep it going. I came out here because I'm trying to figure out how is this happening. We're not at the table.
But it all starts with representation.
Representation, conversation, a relationship, your voice, your motivation. Don't just wait on me to do it. Show up. You gotta have open door. Hey, tell Miss Hamilton I'm out here. Remember when she told me X, Y, and Z that we was gonna do so and so? I got a plan. I ain't just got a plan. This my man. Where are we at? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you, I'm a returning citizen. I did a long stretch, and when they've been talking for the last 5 years about trying to get a halfway house in the city, because Hope Villas ain't here no more. But, you know, we got to go to Baltimore. I don't live in Baltimore, and I'm not from Baltimore. I spent a lot of money getting here every day to take programs and getting back in time before I get in trouble. So, you know, I would like to know, if you become the mayor, you know, what some of the things. Now, DC got plenty programs for returning citizens. But what we running into is I can't get a job because every job I go up to, my background comes into play. Now, they don't open up the expungement thing, but it's still, they talking about I got to be home for 5 years. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still getting messed around. What I'm supposed to do for the next 4 years.
And again, that's my point with us not showing up and saying anything. You got all these developer relationships, right? Guaranteed it's going to happen. Why in the world wouldn't I, as the mayor, say, look, I need about 20 slots held open for my guys to come through when they're coming back in because we got to get them back into society. There's no leveraging going on. There's no leveraging going on for the issues that we still have to address because there's no motivation in her agenda to do that. And this issue about not having a halfway house, I don't want it in my neighborhood, I don't want it over here, they don't trust. They don't trust that the government systems are going to provide the proper level of oversight to make sure that if you're coming into this neighborhood, you're going to do what you have to do to go on and be a viable citizen and not be a part of the problem that they already living with. That's a conversation. That's a demonstration of trust. Of course, we need a halfway house here. We got too many brothers being sent all over the place because we don't have it here.
Right.
But that's not the agenda of the current administration, and they don't have to change their agenda to care because we're not going to vote. So they don't plan to do anything different. They hear you talking, but they waiting to see what you can do to bring the people to the table, and then they're going to get an excuse ready for you. They just studied us just like our brothers and sisters have. They know who we are. We're a bunch of talk.
I want to piggyback off what the young lady said over here. I got a teenager
And then I got a child that's 27. And my teenager is 12. And I want to thank Tony. Thank you for allowing us to come here and talk about this. My baby don't have nowhere to go. When he come home, he's on the computer or on a game all day long. That ain't how it used to be. He could go to the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? He could go box. He could get his frustration off. I'm a single parent. I raised him by myself. I don't have no help. When I walk in the house, I got roaches falling off the walls, rats running across my feet, but they still want me to pay rent. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I'm hurting. We need to pull together because anytime your baby say, no, mommy, I don't want nobody to come over my house. You know why? It's because the way we living and we giving a white man, and I'm going to call it what it is, the money, and they treating us like animals. I'm not an animal. I'm hurt. Just like the brother said, I'm locked up. I can't come home. I can't get a job. Why not? He did his time. He did his time. The law is not fixed for us. It's fixed to keep us down. I get food stamps. How many people live in your house? How many people eat from your table? None of your business. If I need the help, I need the help. But people from other countries can come over here and get the help before they help us. I got a problem with that. I got a serious problem with that. I'm not asking them to do anything for me that I feel as though I'm worth. I'm somebody. My kids are somebody, and I thank you for allowing us to come into your barbershop because a lot of us hold back our feelings. Sometimes I don't want to get up. You know why I don't want to get up? Because things not right in the city. Anytime I'm scared to let my baby to walk out the door, I'm scared he might get shot. You know, right on the property. I live at Marbury Plaza. I'm the president of Marbury Plaza. Marbury Plaza not right. And we sit there and we give our money to these white people and we let them come in here and tell us what to do. They talking about cutting food stamps. That's number one. Now that's what they talking about. Medicaid. Everything, Social Security. Now imagine that. If they cut it out, what are we going to do? We're going to pick up the guns, we're going to start robbing, and we're going to start killing. So if we don't help each other, one another now, we're going to be left. We're going to be left behind. And me, I don't want to see my child get killed trying to go in here to get a loaf of bread or a dozen of eggs to try to feed the household.
Real talk. Real talk. You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is this a number that I can reach you at? My question is, oftentimes, what happens is we put representation into the mayor's seat. I haven't voted for her for the last couple of years, but when we've had representation in the mayor's seat, people tell us they're going to do a lot of things, but the money that DC is getting is coming from Congress, it's federal government. So a lot of things change when you get in the seat to become a mayor. What can you promise us that you're going to do to not to sell us out to the federal government money that they give to the city?
What I can promise you is that I'm bringing you with me, whether you want to go or not. Because a lot of times what happens, we're sitting back trying to observe what it is and what it looks like without coming up to the table and understanding what it is. See, what I fought her for, I'm not saying that that system doesn't exist, but when you see that that system exists, you get word out. See, we had something called a chitlin circuit back when our brothers and sisters were butlers and maids. They were fortunate to hear what the plan was going to be, and they got it back down through the circuit so we knew what's coming our way. We're not doing that. See, I won't sell you a false dream that I can do it by myself, but I'm going to hold the line like I'm doing now. And I'm going to keep telling them that you exist, that my constituents ain't going to let this happen. I'm going to keep asking you guys to help me understand what you need to understand to get something going on. But we ain't changing nothing if we not showing up.
Right.
So I've already made my mind up that I'm going down there. And I know what my why is. My mother was raped in these streets. My mother had to deal with these piss poor services. There's nothing more important to me than my mother's legacy. But I know you must have a legacy. I know you must have a legacy. See, so the reality is you're going with me. Because the only way you can be assured of what this thing is and how we deal with it once and for all is you bring yourself to the table. Because as Obama said, we're looking for one when we all are needed. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to call it out as I've been doing. But where you going to be and what you going to be doing to make sure I'm propped up. Because see, when that money come down, my returned citizen community should be at the table. This is what we need. Hey, my mamas in the community should be at the table. There should be an ongoing dialogue. These relationships should go with me. Where I think she failed is there was a disconnect between what the community needed and what she thought she was going to do along with these folks that had money that come and get her attention. I'm not asking you to have any money. I'm asking you to show up.
Right.
Because I'm going down there because we got too many that we're losing. As a mental health advocate, and as much as I know many of them will fall through the loop if we don't do this intentionally, I'm going down there. But I came out here to get you because I couldn't believe we had 300,000 not voted. You know too many people for that to be the case. There's a man, Tommy Broadwater, Mr. Food Stamp back in the day. He said, you know what? I don't have any friends that don't vote. Have we gotten to that point yet? Are you sitting in the room with your boys and having a drink or playing some cards or dominoes and they not up on it and they not voting? Why are we not holding each other accountable to higher standards? Because our children are watching us and we got to pass that down because they got to live here when we gone. And until we figure out something different, these are the laws we living by. And if we're not going to show up, then what you talking about? I mean, real talk. See, I was raised, you be about it. You don't just talk about it. But I knew I can go in any barbershop across this city and I can find my professors, my culture. We know the story. But why do we stop at our emotions? Why don't we do something past that? Restore my faith. Restore your faith. Restore our children's faith. Sign up for something like this March on April 29th and bring the kids in your family. Do something different. You feel me? It doesn't change until we commit to changing. And I can't be every perfect answer you need, but I promise you I'm going to be right here with you toe to toe because the only reason I stood up is because I don't like it. I don't like it. I come from better. I come from generations of better. And I hate sitting in those meetings when they think east of the river ain't produced nothing. Excuse me? You don't know me, but you can get to know me. I'm Dr. Rhonda Hamilton. How are you? Right? You don't know my people, but you can get to know us. But see, when they show up with these agendas and we're not there, pay for play. And they get in. Our brothers come back, they angry. Our mothers are angry. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We've been riding around with the license plate taxation without representation. Yeah. What we gonna do something about it? Because like it or not, we're gonna die. So what you gonna do with that time in between your day? Because opportunity don't show up every day. I'm saying come on. I'm saying whatever doubts you have, let's go. Let's show them how we can do this differently. You know what they tell me with all their wonderful numbers? Oh, Dr. Hamilton, oh, you resonate well with the people. Yeah, because I come from that. Oh, but you know, it's not, activists don't usually become successful in politics. According to who? So I'm supposed to listen to your statistics and not go forward and fight for what I know to fight for? Hold tight. I'm going to show you who I am and I'll be back. See, this ain't about me. It's about what I come from. It's about protecting the culture that we all come from. And while I love that we're talking about it in the barbershop, I'm coming down to tell you I need you down in Congress. I need to challenge you to do something different on April 29th. Get those kids together. Get that wifey together. Get that block or that family together and bring them down there. You don't know what kind of empowerment people get from being heard. People don't show up because they intimidated because they don't think that they know or that they should be there. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. And when you don't know, you got to find somebody to trust to know. But we got to move past this talking, right? We got to move past this talking. I'm going to be doing this across the city. If there's a barbershop that you know I need to be in, this flyer has my number on it, right at the bottom. Let me know. I'm so real with this. and she must go. And what I realized when I looked around, Robert White isn't in. We can't get him to take care of the housing, but he want to have a promotion to be a mayor. I got too many receipts on you not doing your job. Paul Racine endorsed Robert White, so Robert White left the mothers living in Mold because it wasn't worth his political career. So in his mind, if he just played the game and hang out until she walked there, so the word on the street is she not gonna run again and he gonna step right in. And do what? 3-term housing chair. Look at the housing. Makes no sense to me. Guys, I appreciate your time this evening. I want to introduce some folks so you know that I walk these streets with some folks that believe in me. This is Mr. Jabari Zakai on my research team. Okay. Jabari came out because he wanted to understand what's going on because he wants y'all to know that I got folks working with me. Juanita Briscoe, it's my girl. Walk day one, we sandboxed folks. She said, Rhonda, if you're walking, I'm walking with you because we need to bring this real word, right? So Juanita helps me with my church and my clergy relationships, making sure that I'm doing this in front of the churches. I'm serious about doing something about this 300,000, right? Mr. Brian White, you met, campaign chairman. Barbara Cooper, you met. One of my mamas on the ground with us over in Marbury Plaza and across the city. Mr. Jamal Khalid is my university and my community affairs rep, helping to bring my young people to the table. Guys, this room at the table, we should be a crowd standing up, right? I'd be more concerned if you didn't know what was going on. Now I'm more disappointed because you do know what's going on and you haven't figured out how to get involved. So, in honor of our great late Mary Berry, I want you to remember that you met Dr. Rhonda Hamilton, and I am about it. I'm not just talking, I'm about it. I have my why. I got a lot of little children I'm trying to save, a lot of little mamas I need to save, a lot of soldiers I need to save, because the system ain't working. So, you have my number, find out what you need to find out, but then let's go. April 29th, I need some soldiers down in Congress. You're welcome. Yeah, come on, Jabari.
I just want to say something to the brothers in particular. I'm a returning citizen. I was raised in Ward 5, right off Rhode Island Avenue, with Rhode Island Avenue across and Mount Rainier. I grew up there, went to McKinley High School with all public schools. Let's be really honest. Black men in D.C. and across the country are afraid of white men. Black men are afraid of white men. We will shoot, kill, maim, hit, destroy, rob from each other, but we will never cross that river and touch white men. There was an incident in Ohio outside of Cincinnati a month ago. A truckload of Proud Boys ran through the city with banners and putting out racial epithets. You know what the black men in that city did? They came out with guns, created a militia, and ran those white people, those white boys, out of the city. And now they are conducting daily, armed watches to make sure people don't come through their town. Yeah, we used to do all of that stuff because now we want to be more comfortable than free. We want to be more comfortable and free. We want all material accoutrements of wealth. We will spend $200 on a Friday night, but we won't give $20 to a campaign or to an effort or to a program that will last for decades and forever. So let's be real. I grew up in D.C. I'm a native Washingtonian. I went to federal prison standing up for D.C. because I refused to pay taxes. I said, why do you have taxation on your, without representation on your license plate, but you still paying taxes? Did you know that filing tax returns are voluntary? So we are a colony that has no more political status than the Virgin Islands, Guam, Puerto Rico, because they each have a non-voting delegate in Congress. The only difference between those territorial citizens and us is they make you think that you're required to file tax returns. Nobody in Puerto Rico pays federal taxes, nobody in Guam, nobody in Virgin Islands. Right? The black men, there are 60,000 returning citizens in this city. 60,000 returning citizens. If we could get half of those people to vote. I live in Ward 8 now, right down the street, 18th Street, right by Anacostia Library, up the hill. I've been here, I've been in Ward 8 since 2021. Only half the people who registered to vote in Ward 8, if that many, and not all the time. And that's the simplest thing. So let's do this analogy, a football analogy. So you get the ball and you go down into the other team's 20-yard line. So you in their red zone. That ain't the point of it, right? The point is to score. So we take all this energy and we put in people who say things because they know that's what they want you to hear. Because they know as soon as you hear it, and for the number of us that do choose to vote, and you vote for these people, because I don't vote Democrat, I'm independent, they know that you will not follow up. You will not go to an ANC meeting, you will not go to a ward meeting, you will not follow the city council on Channel 13, you will not do any of that. But you will complain Friday, Saturday, and you will be at the Commanders game on Sunday and spend the whole next 3 days talking about what they didn't do, and you will do nothing about your own plight in this city. When you have the absolute total power to do whatever you want if you chose to put your mind to it. And that's the legacy that has been lost since Marion Barry was gone, which this street is now named after. It used to be Good Hope Road, right? Now it's Marion Barry Avenue. But are we living up to the legacy of all of these people, right? I was born in 1955. I'm 69 and a half years old, right? My statistical life, expectancy is exceeded. I'm supposed to be dead according to statistics. So all of you who are under 35, you got to really ask yourself, do you have 10 more years of life under this system? Do you have 10 more years of life under this system if you sit on your butt and let them do what they want to do? The answer is no. The answer is no. You don't have 10 more years of coming to this barbershop and going to the game or the club with these people destroying everything they could possibly destroy, and you sitting back and just commentating on it. So I'm just trying to say, when I was in prison, the first one they sent me to was Morgantown, West Virginia. This was minimum camp. They sent most of DC drug offenders to Morgantown. When I was there in the 90s, late 90s, half the population was from DC. They were 25 years and under. And I asked them, did you know that the offense that they charged you with, they didn't have any evidence to convict you on? Did you know that you pleaded to stuff that they could not have ever convicted you on because they knew that you didn't have the requisite evidence to be charged with that in the first place? So they say these things to scare us. This is what I mean by when I say black people are scared of white people. Most black men will accept anything a white man will tell them, but when a black woman particularly says it, they will question her to death. They will question her to death. I've lived most of my life working with black women who stood up because I couldn't get brothers to stand up with me. Your fate is in your hands. Nobody's going to save you except you, and no one should take the time to save you if you're not willing to save yourself. I used to do legal work for people in prison. I used to tell brothers, come to the law library and bring me some stamps so I can mail your stuff out. I stopped doing that because one time this brother was in the gym playing basketball when he was supposed to meet me in the law library. I saw him later the next day, and said, why didn't you come? I said, you know what? I can't help everybody. And I'm not going to help anybody who don't want to help themselves. If you can't put the minimum amount of effort to help me help you, then I'm going to transfer that energy to somebody who wants to really help themselves. So what I'm saying is, we got all of these people, and black men have to step up. Black men have to stop accepting the hokey-doke, and black men have to stop being afraid of white men. Let's be really clear. You have to stop being afraid of white men. You have a say in your life. You are responsible in imagining what your life should be.
All right, so let's wrap up. So thank you, Jabari. I appreciate that. And basically, in a nutshell, they playing chess and we playing checkers. For me, this doesn't work without my brothers because we are a unit, right? And some of us got to go forward and do the education. Some of us got to stand there and look them in the eye and let them know that we can't be divided. And some of us got to make sure the baby's okay. Everybody got a role to play. You see, they playing chess and we playing checkers. So I appreciate you all for having me this evening. You got a question? Want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. You mentioned a great word when you said legacy. I noticed there's a lot of black people who have generations going back. Would you be able to give advantages to some of these black citizens that go back generations from a legacy perspective?
Yeah. We can never be here again. I love that you said that, and I said that word and I use it intentionally because we have to have a vision that takes us beyond where we are. We got ground to make up, right? We have ground to make up from our drug addictions, from the fact that they're out earning us, from the fact that the average house cost in this city is $800,000, go figure, in Trinidad, from the fact that the rental is $2,200 a month. If we don't intentionally step up, we gone. We can't live on those numbers. But what we have to do is understand that the politics intersect with everything that we saying we don't like. So we don't run from it, we show up to it. We're not doing that. By not voting, you're handing them the okay to move forward with their agenda. RFK has 177 acres, right? If houses cost $800,000, you almost have to get your hand in on whoever's going to be running this city to make a bid for the fact that, look, I'm a returned citizen. Use that chunk of land over there and make sure we can live. Hey, how about putting a nice, small, affordable housing unit that doesn't start with such a high price point? They're going to tell you they can't do it, but they sitting at the table with billionaires. They only putting the money in their pockets. They're not worried about you. You're not voting. You have no power when we have all the power. So all I'm saying is, you know they used to teach us government in school, and that might have been the class you hooked. I didn't. I showed up. So we have to do this together, right? I need my soldiers for more than just brute. You guys are supposed to be the backbone of our family. They said the black churches was the backbone of our communities, but I beg to differ because they finding themselves, they done put that money in their pocket, and we just fell apart. But I'm saying the time is now. This is our city. And what you don't know, bring to the table because somebody else got you. And what you do know is going to help the other one. We got to get back to that. I come from that. Man, Barry taught us that. So with that said, Tony, I thank you. I thank you for this opportunity. I want to do this as often as we need to. I hope that I planted a seed that when y'all talking about it, even like I told him, you know, that girl crazy going down and messing with them people. Yeah, I'm absolutely crazy. I met some families that's worth saving, and I need some help.
I tell you what,